5,
4, 3,
2, 1.
It's showtime.
It's the beginning of time outside of the Garden of Eden. Late evening, sometime before 4000 BC.
Adam and Eve did what married couples do and had Cain and Abel. The boys grew up to become skilled laborers, each masters of their discipline. Cain, the farmer, and Abel, the shepherd. Each year, the family would bring an offering to God in exchange for a blessing upon their harvest the following year. Cain brought fruits and vegetables from his harvest.
I offer to you, Lord, my gift of atonement. I ask for your blessing for my harvest in this coming year.
Abel, however, brought the first, the best, and the choicest meats from his herd.
I offer the best of the first of my flock to you, Lord, as my gift of atonement. I ask for your blessing for my herd in the coming year.
Thank you, my son. I accept this gift and bless your sacrifice. Expect a strong herd in the coming season.
My greatest gratitude to you, my Lord. How excellent is your name.
Cain, this isn't your best. I can't accept your gift.
Why his and not mine, Yahweh? What does he offer you that I do not? Why would you reject the work of my hands?
You know full well that this wasn't your best, and yet you still presented it. Frankly, I'm confused by your anger. If you do right, right will be on your side. But if you don't, it's like a gateway drug that opens the door for you to do far worse. Recognize your jealousy, Cain, and own your missteps. This has nothing to do with your brother Abel. This is all you.
What manner of sorcery is this? That God would select his gift over mine, the firstborn. How did he trick Yahweh? How could Yahweh believe him? Give his blessing to him, Abel, the secondborn? Why has he always been favored over me? No. This must be witchcraft. I cannot, I will not, I shall not abide this. He is not the firstborn, I am. He is not the heir to the inheritance. I must end. Abel!
Yes, brother. What is it?
How would you like to go hunting as we did with father and children?
Of course. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a great idea. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some knives and stuff though, right?
Never mind all that. I have plenty of hunting gear to go around. Come, let us hurry before all the good game is taken.
Okay, let's go.
With excitement, Abel moves ahead of Cain. But Cain draws his knife and raises his arm to stab Abel in the back with murder in his eyes. Abel looks around and sees what Cain is about to do.
Cain, what are you doing? Cain! Cain!
My fellow Hebrews, brothers and sisters in Christ Jesus, my desire is to encourage you in your faith. I heard about your suffering, and my heart is heavy for you. But even though the appeal of leaving the way resonates with you, especially when faced with the persecution that you've been enduring, I want to help you understand exactly what you leave behind. You see, long ago, God used our prophets to share his heart with us. He talked to us often in a variety of ways, but today, as we approach the next chapter in our existence, he has expressed his love to us through Christ Jesus. Didn't you see him when he was alive? I know you've heard him speak. You just spoke to me about how you witnessed him doing miracles. Come on, people. I mean, you well know that Jesus is the radiance and the glory of our Father. He is literally the mirror image of God himself. Our advocate is the heir to all things. Yet he became a person in the form of the Son of God so that he could have a human experience to better understand us. He then allowed himself to be brutally murdered so that we could have a relationship with God without hindrance, once and for all. And when he was done breaking the power of hell, he sat down right next to our Dad King in heaven, speaking to Yahweh on our behalf. So by design, Christ is higher than angels, better than Moses, more perfect than priests, and more purifying than all of our sacrifices combined. Thus, my challenge to you is to keep your faith in Christ Jesus, your belief, your actions of belief. What do I mean by that? What do I mean? Faith is being sure of what you hope for without having any evidence of it. It is a combination of believing and operating as if what you believe is actually so. Tough, right? Believing in something that you don't see? How about this? Let me show you the lives of a few marked by beliefs and acts of faith. Some of them simple, some complex, but all transformative. Let's start from the beginning.
Cain, what are you doing? Cain! Cain!
He grabs his dead brother by the scruff of his neck and drags him away.
I know what you're thinking. That was horrible. I mean, you'd never do that to your family. But consider this. Cain's rage was festering long before this day. God's seeming rejection was his breaking point. He was too embroiled in jealousy to see anything other than rage. God warned him. He didn't listen. Yet Abel's death wasn't the point of the story. His offering was. Think about it. Abel's gift was out of a heart of devotion to the Father that he loved. And when you love someone, you give of your best, right? So the quality of the offering was what God approved of because it demonstrated love in faith. In other words, Cain gave because he had to, and Abel gave because it made his father happy. Picture it, Ararat, or thereabouts. It was between the years of 4000 BC and 2000 BC. That about narrows it down, right? Somewhere in the middle of 2000 years. The truth is, no one knows exactly when or where this next story happened, but the story is one I'm sure you'll recognize. Imagine a world where everyone stole, cheated, raped, and killed, and lived by whatever debased passions they wanted. A world with no moral compass and where rules were used to oppress. Imagine living in that world as one who made the conscious choice to live for the love of your dad king, no matter what anyone else tried to tempt you to do. What if you and your family were the only ones that lived this way? Look around you. No, go ahead, look. Imagine if you were the only ones that lived this way and everyone else around you were evil. This is the world that Noah lived in, the one that God was about to destroy. But because God believed in Noah's heart for him, he decided to protect him and no one else on earth. Noah, I'm going to destroy the earth by flood. I will spare you and your family because you have remained faithful to me. There is nothing good left. I need you to build a ship. It should be 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high with a roof, a window, and a big door. I'm going to send animals to take with you, and when you're all on board, I will do what I must.
But Yahweh, are you sure that there's nothing good? Nothing worth saving?
There is only evil in the hearts of men, the worst kind of depravity. I cannot abide it. My heart is broken. You are my one saving grace. Noah did everything God asked of him. The animals began appearing out of nowhere in sets of 2. Still concerned for the people, Noah tried warning them about their need to give up their wickedness. They laughed at Noah's nonsense.
You have lost the little sense your so-called father gave you, jackass. Not a bloody cloud in the sky.
No. He thinks himself so much better than us with his piety, but look, his clothes are rags. He smells like the pigs in his ridiculous boat. He isn't worth our time. Let's get out of here before we find out his crazy is contagious.
Crowd agrees. Noah's wife walks up to him and touches him on his shoulder.
I trust you, husband, and I trust your word from God. Do not lose heart over the stubbornness of men.
My father's instructions are clear. I will still try to reach them, but it will not sway me from my mission.
No one listened to Noah. On that day, Noah loaded his family onto the ship.
The author closes the door of the ship and looks to the sky as the sound of thunder and lightning explodes. The crowdspeople run frantically to the door and bang it while screaming. The sound of the storm grows louder and louder.
The earth was destroyed.
Lightning, the crowd scatter. You hear the sound of blood-curdling screams as panicked creatures die by flood. A sudden and complete silence. The moon rises as you see a silhouette of the ship. The door opens, and Noah's family slowly file out one by one.
Noah and his family were saved. They replenished the earth and prospered after the flood. It was his willingness to do exactly as his father asked, even if it didn't make sense, that gave them the chance to survive. Some say his faith was heroic. I say that it was childlike devotion.
Papa,
Yes, my boy.
we have the wood
Mm-hmm.
and the fire
Yes,
and the knife.
we do.
But where's the sheep? Where's the sheep that we need to give to Yahweh?
You don't miss anything, do you, son? Yes, we need a sheep. But you know what?
What?
Our Heavenly Father will make sure that we have what we need.
Okay, Papa. Okay.
They approach the altar. Abraham sets the lamp down and lifts his son onto it. He pulls out a rope and binds his son's hands, as well as covers his son's eyes with a cloth. He looks up, whispers a prayer, and with tears in his eyes, he grasps the knife, lifts it over his head as if to drive it through his son's chest. The scene freezes.
You love your kids, right? Most of you would fight to the death if anyone even threatened to harm your babies. None of you would ever consider being one that delivers that harm. So, would you do this? If God asked you to sacrifice your son, would you do it? Think about it. You've tried and failed for 75 years to have a child. Then God promises you that you would have an army of kids. And you still wait another 25 years for just one to be born. Would you turn around and kill him if God asked you to? That's what brought us to this point. God asked Abraham to offer his little one up as a sacrifice, to kill him and then set him on fire. So would you say, yes, Lord? Or would reason kick in? Would there be an argument? Or are you crazy, God? Or that's straight from the pits of hell, and let us pray that away. No judgment. No judgment. I mean, this request, it's impossible. Let's give this question context. What if God told you to walk away from a 6-figure job to do something else? Or end a relationship that's toxic, but all you want to do is stay? What if he tells you to give your entire paycheck to a neighbor who only has nasty things to say about you? Or what if he challenges you to say yes when everyone else is saying no? These are the moments where God is waiting to see if you will trust him instead of trusting what you think you know. Here's the thing. The difference between elevation into your next step in life and being stuck in the same cycle is our unequivocal trust that if he asks us to do something, that he knows the reason why, and his why is greater than our reasoning. More importantly, that his way will ultimately result in a blessing, one that we can't see in that moment, but one we know will come because God's understanding is much higher than our own. Abraham didn't even reply. When God asked him to do it, he just got his only child, supplies, servants, and headed to Mount Moriah without hesitation. Stop. Don't lay a hand on him. He is not your sacrifice. There it is. Now I know that you would give what is most precious to you. Because you trust me, I swear an oath that I will bless you. Your generations will be blessed and will spread across the earth. It is because you've heard me. You had faith in me, and without hesitation, you obeyed.
Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. I will forever be your servant.
And then there was Enoch. Our historical tome says that he lived faithfully with God all of his life.
The author grabs Enoch by the shoulders, swings him around, and shoves him straight into the darkness.
And then he just vanished.
Vanished? What does that even mean?
To live faithfully is to have an unwavering focus and commitment to what you believe. It stands to reason that since he was so resolute about his trust in God, that our dad king saw it fit to simply take him home when the time was right.
Enoch hesitantly walks out of the darkness. He pokes the author on the shoulder while the author is still speaking.
No suffering, no struggle, a reward
for his God author guy, dude.
What is it, Enoch? You're supposed to be banished.
Yeah. Well, I checked my contract. It says that I'm supposed to have a few more lines.
Lines? You don't have any lines.
Well, that's kind of my point. Can I have at least one line, maybe two?
Look, Enoch, we did you a favor by letting you in on the show. All right? I mean, haven't you heard that there are no small parts, just small actors?
Yeah, I have, but you just shoved me off the stage. I mean, I haven't been able to show my range as a real actor. And, you know, I can bring real value to the show.
Okay.
I used to work with some pretty big names here.
Oh, okay. Just, you know what? Do me a favor.
What? What's that?
How about you head backstage, and I'm gonna call you when I need you. I have a perfect spot for you.
Right. Yes, all right. I'm gonna keep my voice warm and work on staying in character. I'm method, you know.
Yeah, so I've heard.
Oh, God guy, so what's gonna be my cue?
That's going to be when I call your name.
So which name are you gonna call me? My character's name or my real name?
I will call your real name.
Well, that might not work, right? Because I'm being character. Remember, I'm method, so
Okay.
call my real name, I might not answer because my real name will be my character's name. Do you feel me?
Okay.
See,
Okay, so your cue is when I use your character's name, which will be your real name at that time. Is that okay?
okay. All right. That works.
Now, is there anything else?
Nope. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work and being the best Enoch I can be. I'm about to blow up, boy. Look out, world. Here I come. Oh, man. Is it you? Is it really you? Oh, Father, come, rest a while. Please, allow me to serve you.
Abraham rushes to the tents and yells with increasing intensity,
Sarah! Sarah! Sarah!
What is it, Abraham?
Woman! We need breads and sweet meats! We have honored
Calm your
guests!
storm, husband. What is this about? Who are they?
God has come to dinner!
Well, if God has come to dinner, it's good that I'm prepared to receive him.
servants walk out with food trays and set them before the men, who proceed to eat heartily. The servants keep coming, and Abraham has to stop them. They all exit, Sarah being the last of them, but she pauses and stands in the wings to listen.
So, it's a scorcher out there, isn't it? And those Hebron breezes. Whew, man, I was sweating out there. So, is the food all right? Anything else I can get you? You know what? Let me get you some more of that good stuff. Although I'm sure you've had better. I'm gonna ask Sarah to whip up some of her famous chicken.
Everything was wonderful, son. Thank you. Where is Sarah?
Oh, she's in the tent.
I'm going to be back next year, Abraham. I'm going to be back to help you celebrate the birth of your son.
Oh, wait, what? This old thing is gonna have a baby? What is he? Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Why are you laughing, daughter? Is there anything too hard for God?
I didn't laugh. I don't know what you're talking about.
My dear, you laughed. Come, Abram. Let us go to Sodom. There's much to be done.
Abraham goes with them and continues their conversation. Sarah addresses the audience.
I did not laugh. My promised baby is on the way. My promised baby is on the way.
Have you ever heard of Sarah? She was Abraham's wife, mother of all nations. But she was very human, just like her husband. Abraham told her about God's promises many years ago. But you know how we get impatient sometimes and try to help God along because, of course, God needs our help. We figure we know the how because we're smart humans in charge of our lives. So we make the how happen, and the how messes us up. Everybody follow that? That was essentially the story. She believed in what was said, but also struggled with not understanding how God would do it. And when time had passed, she decided that maybe God meant to do it another way. Anyone here ever have one of those moments? I mean, she reasoned that Hagar was hers, so perhaps Hagar's baby would be hers too. Abraham doesn't fight the feeling, and Hagar gets pregnant. Old girl develops a superiority complex and treats Sarah like trash. Sarah complains to Abraham, who proceeds to tell her, "Ain't none of my business." That's a life lesson, gentlemen. Just saying. Sarah in turn treats Hagar like a jerk, and it's a whole thing. Then God swoops in and fixes it. Notice that God had to present himself to Abraham because in order for the promised baby to be delivered into the world, his wife had to change her mind. So God checked her, shined a gentle but decisive light on her bitterness, revealed his all-knowing self to her. And in that moment, her skepticism was turned into belief. free of doubt and any inclination to do it her way. In other words, she was scared straight. Mind you, she could have still decided to doubt, but she chose to embrace God's promise that her ravaged 90-year-old body would be able to deliver a child. It escapes us sometimes that the elderly often feels useless. That, coupled with years of disappointment that may have made her bitter. But she finally accepted God's word and was rewarded with a miracle promised baby.
I will miss him, but I'm grateful for the time that we were able to spend with him as a family.
I will miss him too. May he rest well with our mother. Our father spoke blessings over both of us. And while we suffered hardships, we survived by the grace of our God. We are now both flourishing, as was promised us. Our father believed, as did we.
Brother, I should have long been condemned for the sins that I've committed against you. And yet, our God saw to it that what we did wrong was made right. For this I am richest of all, to have you at my side once again.
Come on, let's go attend to our families.
They leave, but Jacob pauses and walks backward while looking into the wings. The author enters.
Isaac blessed both of his children. He saw what God showed him about their futures and proclaimed it over them, fully confident that it would occur. Regardless of the hardships they suffered, those blessings came to pass.
Lights go up on Jacob as he turns to the left of the stage and assumes the posture of an old man in a fluid motion. He beckons Joseph to bring his 2 young sons to him. Joseph enters with his boys and ushers them to Jacob.
Joseph, bring me those boys.
Come on, Ephraim. Grandpa needs you, Manasseh.
The boys stand in front of Jacob, Manasseh on the right side and Ephraim on the left. But Jacob crosses his arms over their heads and blesses them.
May our Heavenly Father bless these boys. May they receive the names of our ancestors, and may their lives increase greatly for generations. I'm proud of you boys. You love each other like brothers should.
Joseph turns to watch the boys walk away with his father. Lights lower on the scene.
Jacob gave the younger boy the blessing of the firstborn. He did so because it reflected the end of the history of sibling rivalry with the family that plagued them for hundreds of years. He knew that Manasseh wouldn't succumb to the jealousies of the past, and he was right.
Joseph then turns to the right of the stage as his brothers enter. He assumes the posture of an old man in a fluid motion.
I have lived a long life, brothers, and I will die soon. We have enjoyed prosperity in Egypt, but this is not our father's promise for us. Our father will take care of you and lead you to Canaan. Swear an oath to me. When you leave, take my bones with you and bury them in the land our father promised.
We swear.
Yeah.
Joseph knew that whether he lived to see that day, he and his family would experience the land that their God promised. He was so sure that he made a covenant with his brothers, an unbreakable commitment to have his bones moved. 200 years later, Joseph was laid to rest in Shechem, near Samaria. It is also where his brothers were buried. To be blessed by your father was a high honor in those days. The expectation was that your father walked with the Lord, so what he said of you would have been God's promise to you. Each of these patriarchs blessed their generations with promises that they themselves would not get to see. But they knew within their bones that those promises would be fulfilled. And they were.
Sarah, as the mother of all nations, could you take a short stop to the people at Parable Productions in Milwaukee and fix this? I'm sure that with your powers of diva, you can get me more than no lines.
There, baby boy. Tell you what, let's get you those lines. They don't understand you, do they? They do not pay me enough for this.
Only you understand me. You appreciate my artistry and my contributions to the world of theater. So which scene do you think will work for me? I can come in at the end when they call out to open.
Hush up. They haven't seen it yet.
All right. We got to keep my entrance a secret. Got it. You didn't hear anything, did you? Nah. You're a good cast. Nice cast. You can forgive me, right?
Boy, if you don't get off this stage right now, I'm going to have such a beef with you by the time this is over.
It's midday. A group of Israelites rush to Moses. You hear the sound of horses and chariots in the background. The Israelites plead with him.
They're coming! They're coming!
Moses, what shall we do?
They're on the way. I can see them on the horizon.
We told you that this would happen, man, that they would come for us. It would have been better for us to remain slaves than to have followed you on this fool's errand.
Here they come.
Stand your ground and don't be afraid. Look at them. Look at them. That's the last time you will see them. Be still. Our Father will fight for you. Move to the water's edge. See what he does.
Moses raises his staff over the ocean as the Israelites approach the shore. You hear the sound of a loud wind and crashing waves. The Red Sea opens. The pillar of cloud and pillar of fire that accompanied the Israelites on their journey from Egypt moved behind them, the cloud shrouding the Egyptian army in darkness, and the fire lighting the way for the Israelites at the edge of the Red Sea. 2.4 million of God's people make their way across the ocean floor throughout the night. When they're all safe, God lifts the cloud and the fire. The Egyptian army is stunned to see the ocean divided, but Pharaoh sees an opportunity and orders the men to pursue the Israelites, who look on as the soldiers chase after them. Moses waits till they're all on the ocean floor and closes the Red Sea upon their heads. The Israelites celebrate.
I believe that just happened.
He opened the sea.
He opened all of the sea just for us.
Just for us. And just like that, he opened the sea. And when their enemies came, he closed it by his hand. The entire 170,000 square miles, 7,254 foot deep ocean. He opened all of it for his children. They calmed their fears and stepped towards the bank of the sea, and he opened it for those that he loved. What is your ocean? Isn't he the same God? I wonder, what would happen if you took the same leap of faith?
You are the Israelites, are you not?
Yeah.
Come, sit, eat. What I have is yours. I've just made some fresh bread.
Open up, harlot. Open up in the name of the king. Open this door.
The spies stand up and move over to Rahab, who's staring at the wings as the banging continues.
Open this door. I say open this door immediately.
Have you a place to hide us?
Quickly, this way.
She sends them up the stairs to a small hill that Moses previously occupied, now her roof. They stoop to hide and look on, while Rahab goes into the wings and walks back in with 3 soldiers.
Good sirs. How may I be of assistance this day?
We heard of the arrival of the Israelite spies and have come to take them to the king. We know they are here. Look.
The soldiers search the house. One of them is getting too close to the stairs. Rahab rushes over to them, turns on her charms, and ushers him away from them. They keep searching the house while Rahab positions herself in front of the stairs as if to guard the entrance to the roof where the spies were hidden.
You are partly correct, sir. 2 men did come to sample my pleasures. I have no idea where they were from. They left just before the city gates were shut, with no indication of their destination. Clients must trust discretion in my profession. Asking too many questions would have just turned them off. Perhaps if you leave now, you can catch them. After all, they were on foot, and you have these beautiful horses. They can't have gone far.
One soldier is at her mirror when she says this. He turns around and moves aggressively towards her, grabs her hair, pulls her head back, places his sword at her neck.
Do not lie to me, whore.
Upon my death, sir, I would not lie to you. You waste precious time with me when you could have already apprehended them.
Come on, men. If we hurry, we'll still catch them. Let's go.
The soldiers exit.
Hey. Did he hurt you? Are you all right?
I will be. Just a couple of bruises to tell the tale.
Why did you help us?
Yeah.
I believe that the Lord your God is the one and only Lord. Not only did he protect you from an army of thousands, but the way he saved you, it's given me hope that even my wretched life can have some meaning.
Indeed, he has been faithful to us.
Promise me this. When you come back to take the city, please protect my family and all that we hold dear. And I.
We swear an oath that we will spare your lives as long as you keep our confidence.
Be sure that all whom you love are with you in your home when we come to take the city, okay? What should we do now? They're looking for us.
Go west to the hill country. They've headed east, so you won't meet them. Hide there for 3 days and then leave. They usually give up their searches after 3 days.
We will. Here, come. Hang this red rope outside of your window. This will let us know that you are all secure. Our fighters will not touch your home. Thank you. Thank you, kind woman. We will not forget our covenant with you. Come. Let's go.
The spies and the author make their way off stage. The author pauses, looks at Rahab. The lights lower on her, and a spot hits the author as he moves towards the audience.
When the walls of Jericho fell, Rahab and her family were the only people that lived. The Israelites killed every man, woman, child, and living thing because God saw Jericho's evil. Not only was Rahab allowed to live, but she was relocated and cared for the rest of her days. She became the mother of Boaz. That's right, folks. Jesus' ancestor was a prostitute. Let that marinate for a moment. The purest being on the planet had the blood of a prostitute running through his veins. But what God did was bless her life because she believed in him, and then used her to deliver our reconciler into the world. Her past did not define her future. Her faith did. Time is running out, brothers and sisters. There are so many others that I could mention. Gideon, Barak, Samson, the prophets, and more. Through their faith actions, they conquered kingdoms, fought injustice, embraced their promises from God. Not lions, nor swords could even touch them. Problems became strength builders. They were fierce warriors that frightened their enemies into fleeing. Women received their dead come back to life. Others were mercilessly tormented while striving for a better life. They were persecuted, mocked, beaten, imprisoned, stoned to death. They pressed through every one of these experiences because they knew that their Father would be faithful to them, if not in their lifetime, in that of their lineage. We are the living embodiment of the experiences that they endured. They stood without compromise in faith. Regardless of what was happening around them, they stood, they fought, they died, having lived to the full in peace, having grace extended to them because of their faith, being blessed in ways that they never expected because of their faith. Get the picture? Faith is the fullest belief in God and his ability to love us through our lifetime, and our ability to come back to our dad was reestablished when Jesus died for us. Our covenant was restored. We can now nestle into the arms of our Father freely. I hope, brothers and sisters, that this letter encourages you to maintain your walk in Christ Jesus. I pray with you and also offer our support as you tarry on. I encourage you to endure faithfully and allow God's joy to strengthen you. This too shall pass.
Wait an ever-loving minute. Did you guys seriously forget about me?
Wait. Enoch, the show is over.
What do you mean it's over?
I mean, everyone clapped. I mean, they loved the ending. It's over.
But I didn't get any lines.
Oh, Enoch. I mean, you've had more scenes in the show than anyone else except for me. Let me walk you through it, okay? You came out after Abel.
Yeah, okay.
And then after Abraham. Are you with me?
Yeah, I see where you're going.
And then you came out after Sarah, right after Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph.
Okay, I get it.
And now you're here with me. Are you starting to see what I'm saying?
I think I do. It's just I didn't get any lines. I got a whole bunch of lines, didn't I? Oh my God, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I just can't deal with you. I mean, I just want to turn off this camera, take off my makeup, and then just get some sleep. Oh, I mean, do you know what it took to read all of those lines? The writer she just kept me talking.
You poor thing.
Poor thing? Look, I'm gonna have to check my contract, and I'm gonna have to see if there is a line limit somewhere, because I know this is abuse. I might get some workman's comp or something. You know what? I'm gonna have to check this out right now. Because you know what? And then I got this guy talking like he's mad.
No, we need you to stay in the picture. You were covering up your curtain. There's a dent in your curtain. Deliano!
Obviously not.
There's a delay, so it might take a second.
It's an aggressive delay.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful.
Oh, I got audio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Finally.
Oh, they can hear. Okay. Yay.
Hello?
What happened?
Yay. Yeah.
Finally.
Okay. Yay. What happened? Okay. Yay. What happened?
Woo, man, it was phenomenal. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
My
Awesome.
goodness. My
Okay,
goodness.
the music put us up to the next level, I think.
Yeah, it's cool.
It was awesome to see everything put together.
Woo, man, it was phenomenal.
There's somebody to try to be. It's Deliano. It's awesome to see everything put together. Yeah, no, the editing was a really nice touch. It really added a whole new flavor to it. So well done.
They're saying that they can't hear Deliano.
Oh.
They can hear everybody else.
There's somebody to try to be. It's Deliano.
Okay, so Deliano is aware that he cannot be heard. He will figure that out. He was asking us, because we haven't seen the production yet until this moment along with you, what we thought about it. So we were reacting to that. I thought particularly the music added a whole other dimension, and some other people were chatting about that.
Let's hear you, Jen.
Well, no, I wanna hear you guys, because I've been living with this for weeks now. So I want to hear your reaction.
This has been awesome. The everyone was just awesome. The music added another layer, as everyone has said, and it was exciting just to see it all come together.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Just checking to see if you guys can hear me out there in the chat.
Can you hear Deliano yet?
Yes.
Yes.
I want to hear Jen.
So, did you guys see the message from Puttycomb that says, "How did Patrick get Deliano's hat?"
How did who do what?
So,
what was that, Delano?
In the video, I wore my hat because the COVID hairstyle.
Great.
And
they can all hear you now, Deliano.
Patrick is wearing the gray hat now.
Yeah. We share hats.
There were two, while we were doing Deliano, while we were doing technical difficulties, there were two questions that went through the chat that got missed. One was, the first question was, what did we learn, each of us, by doing this? And the other one was, how did we memorize all the lines? That one's going to be quick because we didn't, we read it. So we'll go right along to the next part. About what we all learned by doing this.
Who wants to take that question?
Man, I could take it by all means. This teaches us that, just because something was going on, you can always push through and be creative. There is no way that just because something was happening like this pandemic, there was a way to push through, utilize our skills and abilities, and be able to lean on each other and our strengths to still make something happen. And you can always create an opportunity in any way, shape, or form, no matter what you're facing. And it was just a blessing to work with all of you guys. I mean, multiple states coming into play and different places, and just being able to utilize and lean on each other was just awesome. Just point blank period, for me at least.
I agree.
For everybody in the chat, or not in the chat, the actors, please, if you guys have a stream going, could you mute that in the background? We're catching that back in the microphone.
Multiple states coming into play.
Thank you, Whitney.
Yeah.
Thank you for the welcome.
That's my sister.
Hey.
Hey.
Hi, sister.
I have quite a few sisters on the line, just so you know. So, hey guys, I'm Jen Manswell. If you don't know me, I noticed that several
quite a few people registered for the show, not having known anything about Parable Productions at all. I am the founder, owner, and all those titles because I haven't figured out a title yet. But I am the founder of Parable Productions. And this is our very first production. I wrote the show last November with the intention of putting it on stage and realizing a vision and a dream to establish my theater company. I'd been living with this dream for quite a while. And then COVID happened to all of us. And, I sat back for a while and I muddled on how I would tackle this exercise. And what actually ended up happening was I started to realize that the content of the show was for such a time as this. The stories in H11 are meant to be an illustrative example of what faith really looks like and what faith really means, which is something that I refer to in the descriptions whenever I talk about this show. I recognize that there are a lot of people, particularly in my life, I recognize that there are a lot of people who don't necessarily believe as I do or walk in the same vein. But you can't deny the story, right? You can't deny the human experiences that were being had by these characters. And I felt it important to just illuminate the decisions that they were making, the experiences that they were having while they were making decisions. For example, Abraham, who was asked to take his child, put that child on an altar, light that child on fire, run a knife through the child and then light the child on fire. They're put in these very challenging situations, and yet they chose to believe. I'll tell a small story that I had. And just at the beginning of the sequestering and the quarantining, I ran into a woman at the grocery store, and I could not help but be compelled by how afraid she was. There was terror in her eyes being in the store around people. And while she may have reacted to me in a particular way, what really impacted me was just the fact that she was so scared. And I recognized that we were all sharing that experience globally. And it was my moment with her that got me to thinking, you know what, let's just try to throw this on the web and see what happens. We walked down this path as actors, as performers, as directors, as visionaries. We have 3 organizations represented on this grid that you're seeing here today, but we didn't anticipate what we were going to experience because we delivered a performance through a virtual medium, applying cinematic elements and Zoom, does that, right? But clearly it turned into something magical. I remember editing with Deliano at some point, and I'm sitting there going, what are we doing? What is going on? So I mean, the journey to this point has been quite spectacular. It has fueled certainly my creative juices, and brought me to this really cool newish thing. We're coining it or calling it online theater. And I know that there are other theater companies that are performing on these virtual platforms, but this was just a little bit different, right? So what we really want to do is hear from you. You've heard from us, audience reaction, such and whatnot. We want to hear from you.
Yeah,
I'm
these are
the
great.
positive comments, but I want to get your questions, and we're going to do our best to answer them.
Yeah, we got some really great questions here, or not questions, but statements here in the comment. I want to start with Elena here. The whole play grabbed my attention. I couldn't look away. The music was well done. Acting/reading well done. Writing well done. Comic relief with Enoch was clever. I would definitely agree with that. Excellent.
Well, thank you, Elena. And we give deference to the indomitable Patrick Schmitz.
Absolutely. And they said the writing was both true to the original story while being contemporary. the music and sound effects were icing on a very moist cake.
Hey.
Hey.
3 milks. No, I was kidding.
Whitney again says my favorite parts were the sign at the beginning, Enoch, now I've got to go read about him, and the production value / editing. Thank you guys.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
So as Deliano is flowing through the comments, let me talk a little bit about the contributions to this production. So we have a cadre of actors, of course, but several of these actors played or offered double duty, right? Because you're starting out a business and you ain't got no money and such and whatnot. And so I want to first shout out Deliano Johnson. Not only did he take on the role of the lead performer, but he also edited the whole thing. Poor guy. It was tough, right? We both had several sleepless nights. But such an amazing job, such a visionary. He is the founder of Omniverse Media Group. If ever you're in need, you can always check him out. Del, did you have any? Tell me more about what the comments are saying.
Well, I mean, a lot of people are saying, was Enoch was the special sauce to the show, which was awesome. She says, Rosemarie says, now that you guys have seen the final show, Jen, how do you feel seeing your vision come to life?
I don't think it's hit me yet. Several types of emotions have been hitting me over the last couple of days. Ask Del, he's had to live through it all. Poor thing. I'm so sorry, Deliano. But this is a 12-year journey for me to have come to the point where this has been delivered. And so I'll describe it to you this way. As I've gone through this process, I've become more amazed and more humbled by God's blessing and favor upon my life. And I've been blown away by how people have just come out of the woodwork. I'm not going to cry. Come out of the woodwork to support me and support this. It has been such a powerful journey, and I'm nothing but grateful. Nothing but grateful.
From Daddy Russell, are in Trinidad, love its originality, and now it stood to the WOG. I'm not sure what that means. The WOG.
No, that's not. I don't know either. But hi, Russell. It's good to know that you sat through it. Hello, Greens. That's family from Trinidad.
Oh, love it.
Anyways,
we got a question. We got a question for Aldea. How did you feel playing a part that has nothing to do with who you are?
Well, it was a great departure. Jen had given me some specific theater tools as far as the character as far as it can go. There's research that you can make that allows you to experience a portion of someone's life to be able to recreate it. But yes, anybody who knows me knows that a prostitute is a definite departure from my normal character. So, and it was, I kind of leaned on a few different perspectives that I've seen and just movies that I knew, like Moulin Rouge and what is it? There's a movie from the 80s called Striptease that I really related to the characters, because they're more strong women that are in situations that they couldn't control, and they were literally just trying to make the best of a moment. And the cool thing about Rahab, her character herself, she's at a moment where she really needs a change in her life. And this is literally life or death for her. Mm-hmm. And as an actress, for me, I leaned into that aspect of it.
Amazing. So. Just a reminder for the cast, if you guys have your phones on, please mute them. And any versions of the stream in the background, please mute them. Max, why did you look so comfortable about to kill someone with that knife? Gotta talk to us, Max. Talk to us.
You know what? I mean, I've been there before, all right? I'm just saying that. I'm leaving it at that. For legal reasons, I'm gonna leave it at that.
Oh, we missed
Y'all,
the question?
just so you
We
know,
did
for
miss the
public
question.
domain, Max is not a murderer by any means, or he's
Yeah,
the biggest teddy bear ever.
I
Just
don't
want
know.
that
At
out
least-
there.
At least you can't
Just-
prove it.
Just makes a lot of props.
Jessica, if we missed the question, could you go back to it for me?
Sure. Whitney asks, did you all find it difficult to really get into the role without costumes and sets?
Oh, yeah.
I can start that off. Particularly chemistry was difficult for me. And I think the whole cast could agree that it was tricky to not only get the chemistry between people who were not actually present, but the fact that we had to exaggerate everything we did because the camera doesn't pick up the nuances that the human eye does, especially with lag time and all this stuff. And it's a little tiny bit grainy and all that. So, we're doing it. And, if you saw us live, we'd probably be great. And Jen's like, now you got to be a little bit more exaggerated. If you're uncomfortable, you're in the right place. And so we're like, what? I'm in my seat and I'm jumping around. How do we need more? So yeah, it was tricky in that regard. More from a camera capturing standpoint and chemistry, as opposed to I guess not wearing costumes or seeing sets, because we believed that the sets and all that would come with the post-production.
So hey, I'd like to jump in here and shout out Jessica Sosnowski, who played Sarah so very well. Thank you so much for your support through this. You sat with me for 4 hours and gave me everything you had, and then you said, hey, yes, I'll read with you. So Jessica owns a theater company by the name of the Company of Strangers. So whenever we open back, you guys need to patronize Jessica, okay?
Absolutely.
So back to you, Del.
So this is actually more of a comment. So Tom Grable, Max loved your eyes as Abraham, terror then relief. Love it, love it, love it. So Natasha, she says, stand your ground and don't be afraid. That was powerful. And here we have a question here from Elena. Did this play increase your own faith personally for all actors? I'd say so. Absolutely. Starting off.
If I could, I will be 100%. Like the first few rehearsals, my brain was running all over the place. And there were certain spots where I was watching other actors perform and I could just feel the Holy Spirit ministering through the words that Jen wrote on the page. And it was just an amazing experience that, again, it forces you to seek out that love that God has for you.
Agreed. So
I can jump in on that one too.
Go ahead.
So I had a moment when I started working on the show where I said, where I realized with all the things that were happening, right? I thought I had resources. I thought I had this, that, and the third, and things started to flow away. And I went, I don't know what made me think that I could write a show about faith and not have to actually walk it out in faith, right? Because when I started this, I had a script and a smile, and I had a phone call from Patrick going, you need to do a reading. I'm like, but it really did force me to step into the vision that I had for my life, trusting God completely, because all I had was a script and a smile. And now we are preparing, guys, for our stage performance of the show the weekend of September 11th at Calvary Presbyterian Church. So you're going to hear more about that as days come and go. But I will say that it really has impacted my faith to just see how when you just do exactly what God says, no more or no less, you step into such your vision beautifully.
Anyone else want to answer the question about how it has enriched your faith?
I'd say it gave me more to think about. That's for sure. Especially when Jen would kind of take the message of the Bible and bring it to an up-to-date kind of situation. I think that was pretty powerful for me personally.
So I want to ask the audience something, actually. My goal with telling any of God's stories, and mind you, parable doesn't just tell the stories out of the Bible. We're going to tell all kinds of stories. So we may be conceived or perceived as a Christian organization, but just wait. Anyway, so I want to ask you guys, did the way the stories were articulated help you better understand some of the stories that you've heard for a lifetime? Because whether you're a Christian or not, I know that you've heard some of these stories, right? So did you have a deeper understanding of the nature of the stories by having the human aspects of it exposed? I'm very curious about that.
Probably get to a couple other questions so that time picks up, but if those questions come in, that'd be awesome to tend to for sure.
Absolutely.
Watch out. Renee said, get your spare bedroom ready, Jen.
I will have you come visit.
Let's see. I hope I'm saying her name right. Anthea? The play was very good. Everyone performed very well. However, based on past experience, do you think performing virtually will be much more impactful versus performing on stage? Excellent question.
That is an excellent question.
Wow.
Anybody want to take that? I could take it, but y'all might want to take it.
I think it's just something to add to what we do live. I mean, it's just another medium to observe us. So
For sure.
yeah, you have the live performance aspect of what we do, but then also you could sit back on a Friday evening like tonight and watch us live, you know? So I think it's just something that's going to be the future, where performances like this are going to be more of the norm in the future. So instead of buying your tickets to go see a live event, you'll have that same option to see a pre-recording or even a live reading.
Yep.
So
yeah, I think both mediums, they both play a specific purpose, and both are necessary.
Yes.
And I think that live theater is a cultural experience. You know, it's very immersive. You get to go, you get to be around people, be around the atmosphere. But the virtual experience is so impactful because you can reach, it's so scalable. You can reach as many people as possible. So I think they're both necessary and both important.
Even building on that, Jen, you were mentioning some places that tuned in tonight that are not just local. Where else did people tap in tonight?
So I saw the UK on here.
Nice.
It's in the middle of the night, so that's interesting. Earlier today, I saw people, someone from Kuwait, someone from Portugal, a lot of different people popping into my website. And so I'm not quite sure how they're finding us, but I'll take it.
Oh, we have Seattle in the house.
We have Seattle. We have New York. We have, it's
Trinidad.
Of course, that's where I'm from. So of course my people are going to be on, right? But here's the thing. The goal is to reach people. The goal is to offer a sense of upliftment and perhaps a different way of thinking about things. I'm not attempting to proselytize. I will in a heartbeat, but I'm not attempting to do that in this case. I'm simply attempting to plant a different perspective in the minds of people. And the wider the reach, the more the message can get out. And then you get to make up your own mind, right? So it's really compelling that so many people from so many different places got the opportunity to see this tonight. It doesn't take away from the power of the stage experience, certainly, or the ability to work alongside an actor and they feed you and you feed them and then you feed off the audience and then everybody's feeding each other and then you're fat. That happens a lot. But certainly it affords those that don't have the opportunity to do that with the opportunity to experience it in this way.
Amazing. So Not Just Beautiful says, only thing missing next time, Jen, is that you have to send everyone that registers a bag of microwave popcorn.
That is not a bad thought. I'm just saying, are you a marketer? If you're a marketer, we should talk.
It's
because
brilliant.
that is not a bad idea.
She's from the ATL, so
Yo,
yeah.
I will. Hey, now I got you. I got you. Hey, so I wanna jump in real quick and shout out Patrick again. You know, we've been talking about how awesome Enoch is, but what I really want to also tell you is that wait, I said it already? Oh no, I didn't say it. So Patrick is the owner, founder of Schmitz and Giggles. Fantastic improv sketch comedy theater in the city. So whenever you get a chance to check him out, please go check him out. I had the privilege of training under him, and then I discovered I suck at improv, and I'm okay with that. I had a few existential crises when I realized I was no good at improv. But I'm not even going to try anymore. I'm not going to pull on that thread, Pat. But wonderful, wonderful organization, wonderful, wonderful guy, has supported me through the beginning. So I just want to give him a real shout out.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I'm wondering.
I love Patrick. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He is awesome. Let's say it together. Patrick is awesome.
Patrick is
awesome.
If I could sing,
with all the delays.
So I'm wondering if people actually caught my dogs, because I'm seeing people.
A couple people did.
Well, a couple people caught the dogs. I couldn't get them out the scene. Like every time we film, Sasha and Venus would jump right into scene, and it was just a lot.
It was hardcore canine stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were really attempting to upstage Deliano, and then
there was a time I remember one of the rehearsals where Deliano was like, "Okay, all the dogs are out, great." We filmed the whole thing, and at the end, like we're done recording, and the head popped up on the couch.
Yes.
We had no idea. Remember that? We had no idea the dog was there. I was like, "Are you kidding?" Like it blended right in, you know.
So we decided to leave the dog in, and then Pat's dog Rufus showed up a couple times, so we decided to leave Rufus in as well, because hey, we're all in our homes, we're all attempting to do something creative. Rather than fight the battle, let that be a part of the creative experience, right? And trust me,
they did their own.
Hours of joyful laughter whenever Sasha would be like,
Jen, you can get the T-shirts from Parable Productions, correct?
Okay, so let me because I'm seeing this popping up a lot. So let me share. So I turned on our store today, and we have a line of H11 Illustrations of Faith T-shirts being sold on the web. So you guys can go to myparabletheater.com and render your purchase. Now, I want to be clear on something. We are accepting pre-orders at the moment, and there's a specific date by which we will start deploying your shirts. This is the first of a variety of other lifestyle brand elements that we are going to offer as the show evolves. But I just wanted to give you the opportunity to carry the memory with you and to wear your faith like a badge of honor, right? You get to wear your faith on your chest. So if you would like to support us, please go to myparabletheater.com and go ahead and purchase the T-shirts. I'm going to kick it back over to Deliano.
Yeah, they're still talking about the dog. My 6-year-old pointed out the dog. Oh, man. Yep, caught the white dog in the back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that was Sasha.
Really friendly.
He's a star.
Whitney, thank you so much for placing your order. Thank you. Everybody, we should give thanks to everybody who's placing orders right now. Thank you guys so much. She said she's the first one. Yeah.
It's a very comfortable shirt, gotta say. It's
Absolutely.
perfect. And yep.
Let's see. Do we have any more questions? Because I think that is about all.
As a comment.
Christopher
Deliano is so charming.
Deliano is so charming.
Someone asked him.
I looked at him one day and I said, "Who are you?"
You're welcome.
Who are you?
Thanks, Eli.
You're welcome.
So, hey, everybody, I have one more. If there aren't any more questions, I have one more thing to ask. So we've gone through a 6-week process of putting this show together. Poor Deliano hasn't slept for 24 hours. Yeah. Neither have I much. I really need your help to get the word out about this performance. If you can like it, if you can subscribe to YouTube, go ahead and share it on your social platforms. Please tell people about it. we're gonna, in a couple of weeks, we're gonna do a rebroadcast, and we're gonna ask the cast to join back for another talk back. If the cast is available, I have to check with their schedules and such. But we will do a rebroadcast live so that it gives everybody an opportunity to talk to us again. But we really want to get the word out. It's not about fortune or fame, or although if the fortune comes, we can leave the fame aside. The fortune comes, I'll take it. But it is about spreading the message, and that is that in even the most difficult situations, you can stand your ground and not be afraid, which is a t-shirt we're going to come out with next.
Yeah.
Stand your grounds and don't be afraid.
Hey.
So we have 2 more questions, and thank you, Tom, so much for the share. How has this production enriched your spiritual life? I think we answered something.
We did cover that a little bit.
Yeah.
I was trying to type in a little bit of a synopsis, but I gave up.
And the next one is, Jen, now you got to top this. So what's the next show? What are we planning on doing for Parable Productions?
There it is.
Oh boy.
There it is.
There it is. Whoop.
So there are 2 things happening. I'm going to tell you about one, and I'm going to sneak preview the other. So I'm not going to tell you the full story about the second one. Okay. The first one is that within a few weeks, we are going to begin a series called H11 Conversations of Faith. So what that means is there'll be some really cool people joining me on a couch or on a virtual meeting or some such. And we're actually going to be asking them to tell us what aspect of the show impacted them and how that translated into their own lives, right? So they pick a scene and they would tell us more about what that scene meant to them and how that translated in faith. So that's going to actually be, according to Deliano, a talk show. So that's going to come out in a couple weeks. You will hear more about it soon. And then we're going to have a Christmas show. I'm not going to say any more than that about the Christmas show. Stay tuned. Come back to our platforms. You will learn more about it as we go ahead and start developing it. Of course, don't forget that we are having a live performance of H11 Illustrations of Faith. So you're going to see this show now translated onto stage. We're going to have a live performance of the show at Calvary Presbyterian Church downtown the weekend of September 11th. So that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, September 11th. We're hoping that everything settles down and people feel more comfortable about congregating. And then we're going to deliver this spectacular performance for you.
Right on. Another question was from Project Light It Up is, are you taking Venmo contributions?
Not at this time. I really do appreciate the sentiment. We are a weird organization in that we are not nonprofit, and therefore the way we would want to have you support is to purchase what we sell.
So another question was, someone remind Jen about
and then Pat's cracking up.
To Sweet Donies. I think
I'm sorry, say that again?
Someone remind Jen about the question for Sweet Donies. What was the author hiding behind him while he was sitting? I think she was talking about the dog.
Yeah, it's a dog.
It's a Yorkie poo. Yeah. Ungroomed Sasha B said ungroomed Yorkie poo. So she looks.
I think Sasha just needs to be in all of our shows because she's such a star.
Yeah.
She's such a star. We're gonna make her a staple.
Right.
I'm telling you, she's gonna show up in illustrations and conversations.
So whatever you do, you have to cast Patrick again. Real talk.
Oh,
Patrick, man, he's just he's got a fan. In studio with H11 live.
So Patrick, tell me a little bit more about Enoch, right? How did you feel about this character that people are loving right now?
I mean, he was written beautifully, and it's a great bit. So the fact that he keeps wanting to get back in and then realizing he's been in the show more than most of the other characters. It's all in the writing. It really is. I've been down the road of performing with bad scripts, and I've been down the road of good scripts, and it always comes down to the writing. That is the foundation. It always starts there. So Jen, I'm not trying to take my own credit away, but it really is the writing. So thank you. It was very funny and very clever put together. So.
Well, I'll say this to you. No performance. This was one of the best collaborative experiences I've ever had. Like, true to form. I've performed in a lot of ways, in a lot of places. I've done choruses, I've done shows, this, that, and the third, in different parts of the world as well. And just the intellectual contributions and the emotional contributions that you guys gave to this performance just produced such a beautiful work. It far exceeded my expectations when I wrote it, although Lord knows what was going on in my head when I wrote it. So absolutely, the writing is the foundation, but you brought it to life, and I really appreciate that. It was just spot on.
All right, you guys, we are now coming into the closing minutes, so we have enough time for one more question.
Uh-oh.
One more question. We got a lot of statements here. I love it. It said, I'm looking forward to what's coming. I'd like to do this with my play. So yeah, absolutely. We would love to see it. And when you guys do, please send Parable Productions a link, and we will definitely be in to watch. We'll have our own watch party as well. Let's see.
William Marshall. Hello, William.
One more
Hello,
question.
William Marshall.
One more question.
Yeah. Bill.
What's the next question?
Well, they said they haven't heard from Charles, which is true. Charles, could you talk to us for a little bit? Everyone wants to hear from you.
Especially since you have that commanding voice.
Stand your ground.
What you got to say, Charles?
Well, I would just like to say it was a very good experience. I loved it all, and I would like to continue doing it.
Well, we'd love to have you, sir.
Well, if there are no more questions, I think this is, well, where can I buy a beard like Max's?
Miracle Grow.
I feel like I need to put, we're gonna put some beards on the store. We're gonna put some beards on the store so you can buy them. Max's beard and Deliano's hat.
Yeah.
And Deliano's puppy. Oh! How about puppies?
Huh? What?
Stuffed puppies. Okay.
Stuffed puppies. We'll think about it.
Think about it.
Puppies always sell.
Oh, I didn't hear what you said.
Dan, I'm telling you, Cain and Abel, there's something there.
Oh yeah, Cain and Abel.
These are the conversations we can't have publicly, okay? Because this is at the meeting table, okay? Come on.
Oh Lord.
We've discussed this, Patrick. What are we doing?
You're right. I want to know more about the cat behind Eli.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's my cat.
Oh Lord.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Roger. He is a stray that I took up from college and have had him ever since. I'm not going to tell you how long I've been out of college. Just guess.
Hey, Roger.
Roger keeps me sane.
That's a stuffed animal, right?
That is a stuffed animal.
Yeah, it's definitely not breathing.
Oh my goodness. They're asking
Eli,
about...
grab Roger and let the audience see you.
They're asking about our outtakes and mistakes. Now, we were going to publish that tonight, but
we didn't want to be here for 47 hours.
Exactly. So we might actually put a special video out in the coming weeks of some of our outtakes, which are hilarious. Some of them dog related, some of them just us just flubbing, and it's just hilarious. There's some outtakes between Patrick and I, and yeah, those are just those are just
okay.
rich.
So there was the ad where we all count down, right?
Yep.
And I literally counted down with my fingers 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yep.
That was a good one.
That was a
and
moment.
I was like so excited and gung ho about it, and I'm like, I can't even count, man. So, that was
At least you got
moment.
3
Just
right.
count differently. It's okay.
Yeah, I know. 3 was okay.
We haven't heard much from John and Robin Poskisil over there. I'm gonna call y'all out.
The duo.
The duo.
Yeah.
Mr. Abel. What you gotta say, John? What you gotta say?
It was great to participate, and it was really an honor. Like, thanks for like, I don't know, inviting me to do it, because it was a very, very different experience, but it was an amazing experience that I would not have wanted to miss out on. So I just appreciate all of you. I appreciate you, Jen. You guys are awesome. Period.
Yeah, they're kind of awesome. You're boring. We like each other. For real. This is not acting. Like, I genuinely love these people. For real, for real.
So, Jen, we're going to end on this final question. Jen, what was your favorite part about writing this show? And then I'm going to have you close us out.
Robin was Jen's favorite part of the show.
Oh, that face?
Robin.
That face?
Oh.
Robin was my favorite actor. I usually have one favorite actor in every performance. And I tell the cast, that's my favorite. They can do no wrong. It scares them. What was my favorite part of writing the show? Getting it done. That was my favorite part. I'm not even going to joke. I have a member of our team who's actually in Trinidad. His name is Oswin Johnson, and he is my editor, my creative editor. So when I write, he reviews and he yells at me. And the reason I say that that's my favorite part is because it took me 12 years to sit down and get the dang idea on paper. And I had struggled with deep insecurities, which is why I'm like super emotional, regarding putting work that I've lived with outwardly. I'm just being totally candid. So finishing the script was my favorite part, because I felt like if I could overcome that, I can overcome anything. I mean, it was a crippling fear, which is why the Bible says God doesn't give you a spirit of fear, but a power of love and of a sound mind. So I fought through that fear with every word I typed. And then when Osmond yelled at me and went, "You're being lazy," I fired him and then hired him 5 minutes later because I knew he was right. And I needed to press past my nonsense. You know, there's nothing wrong with feeling fear. There's a problem when you let your fear govern your behavior. And unfortunately, I allowed that to stop me. Then again, there's something to be said for divine timing as well. So my favorite part of this whole process, apart from just working with these wonderful people, is that I finished the work. And everything else is not going to be easy, but I now know within myself that I can accomplish the rest of it. Off soapbox.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us here tonight on Peril Productions live stream show. We really appreciate everybody's comments, contributions, purchases. Thank you guys so much for everything that you do. We really do appreciate you guys, and look for more to come. Check out myparabletheater.com for more information, and please stay safe, stay indoors until all of this stuff is all over. All right. Thank you guys so much, and have a wonderful night.
Take
care.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.